As you probably heard by now, Hulk Hogan, pro wrestling legend, recently died at the age of 71. And growing up as a kid, I was a huge Hulkamaniac. Like I had the Hulk Hogan workout set. I watched the cartoons, was really into like rock and wrestling. I had an uncle who took me to some of the house shows. Like for example, one of the house shows, the main event was Hulk Hogan versus Kamala. I also went to a big event at Exhibition Stadium called Hulkamania. It was also called the Big Event. I think that's what they showed it as on video. So it was Hulk Hogan against Paul Orndorff. So yeah, I grew up with Hulk Hogan. I was a huge wrestling fan. Got out of wrestling for a bit, but then I got back into it around the Attitude Era, and I was into the NWO and Hollywood Hogan. It was really cool how he reinvented himself as a heel. And then he had some other cool moments after that. Like, for example, there was Hulk Hogan versus The Rock at WrestleMania. That was a iconic event. But of course, Hulk Hogan's also done some things to tarnish his legacy as well. And even in connection with that, I did post a tier list video of classic era WWF tier list. And I did make some negative statements about Hulk Hogan, which I'm not going to necessarily apologize for because I do stand by what I said. But for the sake of not wanting to speak ill of the dead, I'm going to focus on the positive. And as a wrestling fan, Hulk Hogan's has brought me many really fond, nostalgic memories. So that's what I'm going to focus on. But this particular video is not a tribute video. I'm actually going to focus on one aspect of Hulk Hogan's career that does get overlooked, and it's his musical career. So even before he became a pro wrestler, when he was Terry Bollea, he actually played bass in a few different Florida rock bands. But in 1995, he released an album called Hulk Rules. So Hulk Rules is by Hulk Hogan and the Wrestling Boot Band. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm basically going to do a track by track review of the album. So Hogan does not sing on all the songs, but apparently he does play bass on all of them. And it is one thing I'm going to mention up front is the album. It's basically it was basically released 10 years too late. Like it's a very 80s sounding album. And if the album did come out in the 80s and I heard it as a kid, 10-year-old Hulkamania me would have loved the album. Let's see what the adult version of me thinks of it, listening to it in 2025. So the very first track on the album is Hulkster's In the House. So it features cheesy 80s arrangement, which you're going to hear me say that a lot throughout this video. So if we do a drinking game, that you take a shot every time I say cheesy 80s arrangement, you'll be drunk by the end of the video. But yeah, the song does border on so bad it is good. But I think part of the issue, and I already mentioned this, it came out 10 years too late after peak WrestleMania. And I think this also helps explain why he had to turn heel in 1996 and form the NWO. So this came out at a time where basically Hulkamania was becoming stale. And this song is basically kind of epitomizes that. So the next song we got is American Made. So he basically used this as his WCW theme song just before he became Hollywood Hogan. And basically, it's a rip off of his Real American theme that he used in WWE, or also WWF, because it was WWF back then. So it's basically a second rate knockoff of a song that wasn't particularly great to begin with. So yeah, it is kind of a cheesy song, but I guess there could be some 80s nostalgia, except this was 95. So the next song on the album, Hulkster's Back. So this album is the first song that features Hulk rapping, which is cringe, but it's kind of enjoyable in a twisted way. But I'd probably prefer not, I definitely prefer Macho Man Randy Savage as a rapper, because Randy Savage also released that rap album. And there was one song in particular called Be the Man, which was a Hulk Hogan diss track. Oh yeah, Macho Man Randy Savage. Be the man, Hulk Hogan, be the man. Oh yeah. So we'll go to the next song on the album, Wrestling Boot Traveling Band. And this is one of a few songs on the album that features the vocal talents of Jimmy Hart, who does have legit musical talent. Like he had a successful music career outside of wrestling, and he's actually wrote a number of wrestling theme songs. Like I believe he wrote American Made, and I believe he wrote Real American, and there's a number of other wrestler songs that he wrote during that time. Like he wrote the Honky Tonk Man theme song, for example. But this song is pure cheese. It's like listening to a 70s easy listening, watered down Jimmy Buffett style ballad. And also it kind of also indicates another issue with the album. The album is a bit on the schizophrenic side. Like you had this like 70s watered down Jimmy Buffett, and then you got a couple of songs where Hogan raps. So it is kind of all over the place stylistically. But that'll take us to our next song, Bad to the Bone. Which is also a showcase for Jimmy Hart. So it's not a cover of the George Thorogood classic. And it's also broken record. This is pure cheese. And also musically, the thing that needs to be pointed out, it's basically the same tune as American Made. So same tune, but different lyrics. So the next track on the album, I Want to Be a Hulkamaniac. Which once again, Hogan is rapping. So he's urging his listeners to say their prayers and eat their vitamins. So once again, the 10-year-old me would have got a kick out of this, but I wasn't 10 when this came out. And it also reminds me of Mr. T's rap songs, where he had those kind of like the Mr. T's Commandment and he had the rap song about treating your mom right. So it's kind of in a similar vein there. So kind of cheesy rap, but there's a certain unintentional humor, so bad it's good. So we're gonna take you to the next song. We got some Beach Patrol.
Lose control. You just don't mess with the beach patrol. When you're hanging at the beach, you can see so much. Look all.
So not sure if this is the best or worst song on the album. It's maximum cringe, but there's some more of the Hulkster's trademark rapping. So I did get a kick out of it. And then we got the next tune, Yellow Boy. So yeah. So the song is Hulkster One. Yeah, this is the first time where up to this point it was all terrible and cringe, but I was actually enjoying it. But yeah, this song I vomited in my mouth while listening to it.
He's gonna puke.
So a female vocalist is singing about her undying love to the Hulkster. So apparently it's his ex-wife, Linda, saying, but yeah, this is a really cringe, really painful and terrible tune. So now we got Hulkster in Heaven.
Hulkster comes to heaven.
Heaven, heaven, heaven.
We'll tag up again.
Again, again. The world just stops.
This song is also cringe, but I really don't want to spend a lot of time on this because it seems weird critiquing this after he died. So the song is about Hulk Hogan dying and going to heaven. And it also appears to be talking about when he dies, he will be reunited with a certain Hulkamaniac that died. So I guess there's some kind of heartfelt moment in there. Like I said, under the circumstances, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that song. And then the concluding song, so the final track and the title track of the album is Hulk Rules.
Tonight, everybody's talking trash, but he knows that talk is cheap. If you mess with the Hulkster, he'll rearrange your teeth. Whoa, whoa, the Hulkster rules. Whoa, whoa, the Hulkster rules.
So once again, it's extremely dated. So extremely dated 80s arrangement. And it was extremely dated when it was released in 1995. So yeah, it's just not a good song. It's dated and not too much else to say. I guess the sax is cool. So yeah, that concludes my track and by track review. So what's the final verdict? Well, on Rate Your Music, I ended up giving it 1.5 stars out of 5. So yes, it's terrible and cringe, but there are parts of it that I found unintentionally funny. So that at least made it bearable. So that concludes the video. So have you had a chance to listen to this album? If so, what are your thoughts? And do you have any other thoughts about Hulk Hogan that you want to leave in the comment? Feel free to do that as well. And if you want me to keep making videos like this, please like and subscribe. And if this gets a good response, I may consider doing other videos where I do track by track responses of borderline cringe albums that maybe border on being so bad they're good. So they might be cringe, but there could be moments where it's also unintentionally funny. So if you want me to keep making these types of videos, let me know. And if you have any albums that you want to recommend, feel free to do so. So you can also check out my website, which has nothing to do with this video, but you can check it out if you want. The website is ongoing history of protestsongs.com. So obviously it's a different alley. It's still a protest music, but feel free to check it out. So thanks for watching.